Hello, beautiful people. It's me again. Welcome to another episode of Tipsy Tuesday. And yes, you read right. I said motivation is overrated. And we're going to get into it today. Motivation is overrated. I adopted this concept as I am reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. And one of the chapters of his book is entitled Motivation is Overrated, Environment Often Matters More. And I have to say, that is so true. What? As I read the chapters, I read the book, the insights just keep opening on how habits become a part of our daily lives, or how they are or how we are successful in taking them on as new ways of being. Something that I had been implementing and I didn't even realize. Well, I knew I was implementing them, but I didn't, really put the words to it. And James Clear does it so well in his book. So please read this book, listen to this book. Please join our book club, the Empowering Women the Empowering Woman Wellness Movement is a meetup group that I am in charge of, and we are having a book club. We have a book club, and we are currently going over Atomic Habits by James Clear. We meet once a month. The book club is for all, not just women. Men, come on in. We want to hear your insight too about the book. We all want to get these atomic habits popping and make life better for ourselves. So yes, so the book club is, I will leave the link below, or I'll share it some way, or DM me if you would like to join in and get that link so you can join us and get the dates of when we meet. We meet once every month. Normally it's towards the end of the month. So yes, we met in November. We're going to be meeting in December, and we're going to meet in January. And I think it's like 21 chapters, and you just have to read 7 chapters each month so that you can be prepared to actually like dialogue with us. So for November, you had to read the first 7 chapters. So for December, you have to have read 14 chapters so you can talk, so you can be a contributor to the conversation. Okay, join us as we dig into more insights. But today I'm talking about his insight about motivation is overrated, environment often matters more. This is so true, and I found it to be so in my life. The environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. A line from his book, okay? And that is so true. I think about how for my life and habits that are now my way of being, a lot of times I was not motivated to do it. I did anchor myself to my real reasons of doing it. And because I anchored myself to my real reasons for doing it, even when I did not feel motivated, even when I didn't feel like, we talked about that before in another episode about get out your feelings, even when I didn't feel like doing it, and I wasn't motivated to do it, my environment was set up to do it because it was a new way of being. So it definitely is the invisible hand that shapes my human behavior. Don't know about yours, but it probably does as well. It's so, if you think about it, if you're having trouble sleeping, or say you're having trouble sleeping, and if your bedroom is set up for TV and your phone is on your nightstand, and you have all this stimulus going on in your bedroom that's not conducive to having good quality sleep, then of course, see, no matter how motivated you are to get a good night's sleep, your environment is not set up for success. So we have to design. So for our habits to become a part of the way we are, our new behavior, number 1 tip is design your environment for success. Be the designer of your environment, not just the consumer. He says that in the chapter 2. Woo! Okay, so so I crack myself up. So sometimes I'm just laughing at myself. So it is what it is. If you know me, you know me. Anyway, so design your environment for success. So set up your environment for success. You want to get a good night's sleep, cut that TV off, stop going to sleep with your phone next to you, put it away, put it on a dresser, or if you need to take it out of the room, whatever you need to do to make sure that you get that good night's sleep. You want to write more, you want to read more, or maybe you want to write more, then have that book out, have that tablet out, have that notebook out, so that you can get it done. Get that journal out so you can get it done. Set your environment up for success. Put the cues Visual cues trigger the wanted behavior. That's tip number 2. Visual cues trigger the wanted behavior. So for me, you've heard me say before how I'm not always motivated or want to get up and run, okay? But I am a runner, so I have visual cues to trigger the wanted behavior. So one of the cues is over, like, where my bed is. I have my medals. She believes she could, and on the top of the medal thing is a quote that says she believes she could and she did, or something like that. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. And so, and all my medals are hanging there. So even when I'm not motivated to do it, the visual cue is there of waking up and seeing the medals and remembering that I am a runner. And what the runners do, we run. We need to run. We feel good when we run. So then all the facts start coming to my mind that I'm going to feel better once I get up and I run. I might not feel it right now. I might not be motivated to do it right now, but I know once I get out there, I never regret being out there. So I have that visual cue. I also have the visual cue that my sneakers and everything will be ready when I'm ready to run. Got that book bag, my running bag, I call it, out there, and I see it and I know it and I'm ready to run. So visual cues trigger the wanted behavior. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, make the cues a big part of your life. Out of sight, out of mind, right? So like I said earlier, kind of already alluded to it earlier, if you want to read more, then have the book out there. Don't have it tucked away somewhere. And if you want to work out more, have the gear out more. Have your sneakers at the door or in the car. Have the rope before you, have the gym equipment out there in the open so you can see it. You want to play whatever you want to play more, whatever instrument you want to play more, have the instrument out there so you can see it and you can do it. Have the visual cues out there, out of sight, out of mind. So make the cues a big part of your life. Make them so that you see them, okay? And tip number 3, tip number 4, change your environment. Of course, activity zones, that's the tip, activity zones. Some of us, we are not working with a whole bunch of space, so that we can just be like, okay, well, this room is dedicated to the gym and this room is dedicated to when I work and this room is, some of us ain't got it like that yet, okay? But that does not mean you cannot set up your environment for change. Set up your environment for changed behavior. Set up your environment for the behavior that you want. So this last tip is activity zones. Stable and predictable environment. So you have activity zones. Have that chair that's dedicated to reading. Have this corner, like the corner where you exercise. You have your equipment and it's right there for you. Have this corner or this section. This is where I work. This is the section where I work. Of course, we know where we would be cooking, but in all honesty, just set up the activity zones in your environment. Have stable and predictable environment so that you have these areas set up so that you can change your environment and have the cues available for you so that you can have the success that you want for the behavior and create the behavior that you want. You want to create the behavior that you want, then create the environment that feeds the behavior that you want. You want to eat more healthy, stop stuffing them apples and everything away where you can't see them. Put them out in the open so that when you go to the kitchen, you take them and you eat them, okay? So set your environment up for the success, for the behavior to become the success that you want in your life, okay? So those are your tips for today. Yes, I said it. Motivation is overrated. Environment often matters more. And it is so true. And I've already shared the tips. You didn't hear them? Rewind, play again. All right. Love you all. See you all next time. Bye.